Greetings, everyone. Greetings. Welcome, welcome, welcome to another episode of Brown Girls Are Beautiful. I'm your hostess and your melanated queen, Lil Foxy, aka Seven Wonder. Y'all, I have a very limited amount of time to get on here and get my message out. So this is going to be a very quick video. Excuse me, until I can address you all again today. Heute ist Montag. Today is Monday, July 8th, everyone. I hope we're having a great start to our week, everyone. All right. Hope we're having a great start to our week. So I want to go ahead and get into this whole situation that's going on with Julio, Foolio, and Youngeen Ace, y'all. And I find it very interesting because I don't really hear any of the rappers talking about what has taken place with this tragedy. I don't hear 50 Cent. I don't hear Jay-Z. I don't hear P. Diddy. I don't hear T.I., Ludacris, nobody getting into this situation. I don't hear anybody trying to, let them know that this is not the way to go, y'all. This is definitely not the way to go. Um, so, in case y'all are not aware, there is a rapper by the name of Julio Foolio who actually celebrated his birthday on June 23rd. He turned 26 years old. He had a party, I believe, at a Airbnb or a hotel. And as he was leaving the hotel, he was on the passenger side, seated in the front passenger seat, when he was riddled by gunshots. Now, the person that did this shooting, you all, was up close and personal to the vehicle. And I find it very strange that they were able to get away because the person was on foot. So, my question, these are my questions. Did anybody see which direction the person fled to? Did they take off on foot to another car? Did anybody see the car they got into? Like, this was a very bold move. It was definitely a setup. Same thing we heard Young Dolph was set up. Same thing it seems like Takeoff was set up. And the Nipsey Hussle thing, which I find that was very peculiar. Then you had the alleged Tupac Lassane Crooks shooting. Y'all, this continues to be a repetitive cycle in the rap realm. And what we're not understanding is why none of their peers calls for just peace and in the war to stop this war on violence, gun violence in the melanated community, y'all. So, in case you don't know, Julio Foolio and Youngeen Ace are both allegedly from Jacksonville, Florida. If you know anything about Jacksonville, Florida, it is very hood, very ratchet, very ghetto, extremely dangerous, y'all. There's some more footage that I really want to get into because I was doing a lot of research last night on this particular topic. And I met someone that is from Jacksonville, Florida. And let me tell you, their mentality is basically a survivor mentality. It is very hedonistic. It is a very dangerous mentality. So these rappers already are coming from an environment that is extremely controversial. From my understanding, Youngeen Ace, and I'm going to try to show his picture so y'all can see who I'm talking about. These two individuals, Youngeen Ace, actually used to listen to Julio's music, y'all, from my understanding. But somewhere in between the situation, they begin to be at odds with one another, right? Because somebody from Julio Foolio's side passed away. Youngeen Ace came out and I guess dissed him or made a diss song about him. Now Julio Foolio had a brother And Julio, and I don't really have time to like delve into it and put up all the videos like I want so we can really get into it. But I probably will have a lot of this information on my Patreon because I know that if I play the video and the lyrics, YouTube is going to strike the channel for copyright infringement. And I don't feel like dealing with that. But I will try to play a portion of it here. So anyway, Julio Fulio's brother was gunned down at his apartment complex where he used to live out in Jacksonville, Florida, as he was leaving school. He was they allegedly said he was sitting um on a hammock or something like that in the apartment complex with one of his friends. They were looking down at their cell phones. Gunshots rang out. This young guy was 16 years old. Him and his friend fled on foot. They took off in two separate directions. All right. And so what ended up happening is the shooter ran on up to they call him what did they call him? Julio Fulio's brother, the 16-year-old. His real name is Adrian Gaynor, but he went by the name of something Osama. I can't really remember. Um anyway, they he had some type of nickname, y'all. It's so much going on in my mind. I can't remember the name of it. Anyway, Julio Fulio's brother was shot there on the scene. Did he succumbed to his injuries immediately. He passed away right there in the apartment complex. So he didn't make it. After that ended up happening, I believe a Ace, Young and Ace, came out with a diss track talking about who I smoke or something like that. And it blew up to be a very popular diss track against him. So if you go back to the Tupac Biggie situation, you remember that Tupac and Biggie had songs going back and forth. I'm going back to Cali, Cali. Dun, 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 dun. Remember, Notorious Big went back to Cali. That's where I think he succumbed to his injuries. And that whole thing was kind of weird too. Tupac made diss songs against Biggie. And y'all remember, we bomb first when we ride, please. We consider for you die, G's. And Thug Jiggers on the rise. All right. That was on the Bomb First song on the Machiavelli album. All right. So y'all know Tupac went in heavy and hard. Like you could really feel the energy coming off his lyrics. Everybody like Biggie because of his melodic flow. So the same thing is going on where life is imitating art, which really I feel that art should really imitate life. But these rappers out here, I mean, they act like they're living in a video game. They think it's they're living in a music video. This is real life, and people's lives are being taken. Mothers are like in bereavement. People are really being affected by all of this. Now, I don't know if Julio Fulio had any children, but the way that he was bombarded, I mean, they shot that car up. It was a dark gray vehicle. They shot through the driver's side. No, I'm sorry. They shot through the windshield of the vehicle. It looked like about 8 to 9 went through the windshield from what I saw. Julio Fulio was sitting in the front passenger side. They are alleging that he tried to climb to the back seat. Now, I don't know how much of this is true. There is video footage on TMZ.com. I will come back on here again and talk about that because I don't have time to play it right now because I really need to get to the real estate office in a few minutes. We're having a meeting and I don't want to miss it. And I need to try to get myself together and race down there, y'all. So I literally don't have any time to waste. Um, the next thing I wanted to talk about is okay. So that's what happened June 23rd of this year. Now there was a lot that led up to the tragic, slaying of Julio Fulio. Real name was Chris Jones, okay? His real name is Chris Jones. He was heavily known around Jacksonville, Florida. Youngeen Ace moved to Houston. So he's out in Houston. And the only way I found out about Youngeen Ace is because he was featured in a Young Lyric video. Now, if everybody remembers Young Lyric, she was on the rap game with Jermaine Dupri back in 2006 with Lotto and Super Peach. And it was Poopy or something like that. A whole bunch of children from the ages of 12 to 16. So Young Lyric went on to make mixtapes and make music and do performances and shows. Lotto went on to perform at the BET Awards. She's making songs with Trina. Um, Who else? I think she made a song with Megan Thee Stallion. Yeah. So she's made it, kind of big for her rap solo career, even though I really don't care for her, but that's neither here nor there. Now, I think this is interesting because Young Lyric is actually signed under the J Prince family. And I rap a lot. She signed under rap a lot because her family is from Houston. So Young Lyric started her career as a child. She was like 9 or 10 when she first started. Okay. Her parents are tied in. Y'all already know about the Houston situation where you have to check in. Y'all know that allegedly Takeoff and them, the Migos checked in, Quavo checked in, but Takeoff did not make it alive out of Houston. All right. Now, take into account that Young Lyric is allegedly married or engaged to Shakur Stevenson, which is a boxer. Now, I don't know if he lives or comes from Houston, but he is up under Jay Prince and them rap a lot. They're all under the same umbrella. So it is said in one of Young Lyrics' interviews, the way that her and Shakur Stevenson met is because one of the Prince brothers called and put them together. So it was like a setup, like a hookup, and they must have hit it off. She has a daughter now, so they're together, right? Now, I find it very interesting that Shakur Stevenson was seen at the scene of the Takeoff situation, taking pictures with him and Quavo, taking pictures with the Migos, taking pictures with Takeoff, Shakur Stevenson, right before the passing of Takeoff. All right. Kershnick Ball. All right. That's his real name. So I'm just tying this in together. So Young and Ace did a song with Young Lyric, all right, and this was like maybe 3 years ago. He's out in Houston now, so I would say he may have ties. He may have, because these rappers have to check in. He may have some type of connect out in Houston up under Rap a Lot as well. So just be careful and follow what I'm saying here. Julio Foolio ended up DEAD, all right, on arrival. He's no longer here. He was hit up at the hotel right outside of his birthday celebration, which means he was being watched, which means he was under heavy surveillance and monitoring. These people or this person, because it was one guy, with a weapon shooting at close range, knew where that vehicle was going to pull up because he actually waited for them to come around the curve and had started shooting at them as they were making their exit out of the hotel parking lot. They didn't make it out. Around 4:40 a.m., that's when the police were called. 3 minutes after the shooting, you could see on the surveillance that the shooting took place at around 4:37 a.m. So somebody knew his whereabouts, somebody knew his moves, and somebody knew where he was seated in that car. So who would have known that? He had to have been watched, or he had to have someone very close to him giving and feeding information to the opposition. All right, now I want you to understand what is taking place now. Since then, Young and Ace has come out with a diss song called Do It, which has gotten over 7.5 million views in the last 2 weeks. He also came out with another diss track called Game Over, where he disses Julio Foolio in the music video, which has gotten 7 million views in the last couple of weeks. So he is actually monetizing off of the death of Julio Foolio. All right. Now they've been going back and forth in rap lyrics because right before this, I think a couple of years before this, Julio Foolio made a diss track about Young and Ace's brother. Young and Ace had a younger brother that I think just turned 18 or 19. They were leaving a birthday celebration for his brother. See how ironic this is? And somebody pulled up to the light and began letting out shots. Now, Ace got hit 8 times. He said he tried to shield his brother. And then there were two of his close friends in the vehicle. So I think in total, it was four of them in the vehicle. Just like in Julio Fulio's situation, there were four of them in the vehicle. It is my understanding that Julio Fulio was the only one that got, you know, unalived, is what they usually say here. And the rest of them were taken to a hospital where, I guess they're fighting for their injuries and fighting for their lives or whatever. Now, in Young and Ace's situation, his brother did not make it, and his two friends did not make it. He was the only one that survived the attack. So you see how ironic this is, right? Well, after that situation, you know that Young and Ace was really torn up about this. His brother was only 18 or 19 years old, just had celebrated his birthday that same exact day. They were leaving a wasabi Japanese restaurant. And the reason they knew where Young and Ace would be is because he posted on his Instagram story their location. They took pictures and they were inside eating. So anybody that knew the area or anybody that wanted to follow them could easily go over there, be in disguise, send someone over there, send their shooters over there, follow them, and set up shop. So the scene, it seems like the same place that took place with Young and Ace and his brother took place with Julio Foolio and the people in the vehicle. And the sad part is, anytime these rappers have these beefs going on, innocent people, innocent bystanders get hit and hurt. And that's why I'm talking about it. It's not so much that I really care about the rap beef. It's the fact that it is affecting our community. And I don't see any rappers talking about this. But you hear rappers on these mixtapes, all in these songs, talking about beefing, warring with each other. Nobody tries to get involved or step in to talk some sense into these young rappers that are coming up. Now, there's allegedly a title called drill music. So, drill music is like heavily violent, heavily populated, influenced by a lot of the up and coming artists, and they are making a lot of money. It seems like, and but they're receiving millions of views. Now, do I believe all these views are organic? No, it is my belief. I believe that YouTube, which is owned by Google, and the Rockefellers are involved in this. And if you already know about the Trilateral Commission and the 13 families and the agenda on the melanated culture, and I would say that this is heavily fueled, all right, on the internet. They push these numbers, they push these videos. It's pushed, all right. Now, if you're talking about something that is enlightening and an awakening to the melanated culture, it's not going to be populated, pushed to anybody. You're going to have to fight for views. You're going to have to put your stuff on Patreon, put your stuff on another platform. YouTube is not going to push that. YouTube is going to push negativity and violence within the melanated culture. And I find it very ironic that when I speak about what's going on with the food that we're eating, my videos were getting strikes, which I'm going to now have to re-upload them to my Patreon. So please follow my Patreon. But if we talk about something negative, if I were to get on here and we start going back and forth in a battle against another YouTuber and it gets real interesting and it's very dramatic, those videos are pushed. Same thing with these rappers out here. Anything negative dealing with drama and the slaughtering of melanated male rappers, even female rappers, it's going to be pushed. All right. Because this is how every other ethnic culture eats and feeds themselves, is off of melanated oppression. And I'm not going to blame them for it, because we have to take a stand. We have to be accountable. People have to stop feeding these negative narratives out here, stop supporting it. But you know what? The more people talk about it and feel it, the more people go out there and watch the video, and they are getting a lot of clicks and views. And you know what they're saying? I listened to that both of the songs a few times, and it's very disheartening that I just found that Young and Ace actually has an infant, a son, as of 10 months ago. He has a couples channel called Ace and Chloe. I did not know this, y'all. He could have monetized off his couples channel and showed how it is to be a responsible parent, a responsible father, being in your child's life. Because from the looks of it with these two, I don't know if their fathers were heavily involved with either one of them, with all this rap beef going back and forth. Because Julio made a diss song about Young and Ace's brother. What it I guess they called him 23, I think, or one or the other. I can't get them. It's confusing. Okay. One of them made a song about smoking 23, and then it's just been back and forth, and even beyond that, people on both sides have been dying. So people that are going along with Young Ace actually has real blood cousins beefing against each other. So there are blood cousins taking up for Young and Ace. One of the rappers' name is Queso. Queso used to be in Julio's, team. Now he's jumped over to Young and Ace's team. Did a shooting. He was the one arrested for shooting Julio Fulio's brother. Okay. Now this was his old friend, Julio's old acquaintance. I'll just say that. He was arrested for shooting Julio Fulio's brother. All right. He was bragging about it, all in his videos, all in the music. 30 years old, y'all. So even though he's older than them, by some years, almost probably a decade, he was arrested along with his own father, who was probably twice his age. Him and his father were both arrested for a shooting together. Now, you tell me the madness in this. And I'm just saying, melanated people have got to do better because all of this is some nonsense. There's a Caucasian guy named Brandon Cunningham, something like that. I have to look him up, but I will try to come back on here again to talk about it. And I'll put some links in the description box below so you can check these videos out that I want to share with you all. But they interviewed a group of children, and even the children are calling out saying their thoughts about it. This was 3 years ago. They went out to Jacksonville, Florida, interviewed these children. And it's funny how Caucasians can come into melanated neighborhoods and do interviews and nothing happens to them. Not saying that I want something to happen to them, but melanated people, the quote unquote black people, look at each other as enemies. And if you come out there with a camera interviewing someone, they're saying that basically you're going to get ate up. All right. So it's a very twisted dysfunction dynamic that's taking precedence in these neighborhoods. And it's a very animalistic survival mindset that's going on. And I speak out about it because I take issue with this, y'all. This is plaguing the communities. Y'all think that it's not going to bother you, it's not going to impact you, it's not affecting you because you don't live in that neighborhood or that environment. But these people migrate around, and you might have cousins, nieces, nephews that are influenced by these people, that are friends with these people, could unknowingly be riding with one of these people, seeing with one of these people. And just because of their acquaintance, get shot or caught up in some nonsense because of rat beef. Do you understand? They said an Uber driver lost their life behind Young and Ace or Julio Fulio because one side shot up the other side. They were trying to get at one of the other rappers, and this innocent Uber driver died, had nothing to do with anything, probably just went to pick them up and give them a ride, and car got shot up and they lost their lives. So this is why I'm saying people can't blindly sit here and pretend like this does not impact them, because it can impact innocent people who have nothing to do with this. They even said that a 22-month old, I think, was shot in this beef, y'all, because what happened was someone from Ace's side went to Julio Fulio's side, threw a brick in the apartment. I don't know if this had something to do with a robbery or retaliation, and then went in there looking for the person from Julio Fulio's side, could not find the person, and ended up shooting whoever was in there, which I think was his name was Zion Brown or something like that. And then I think a 9-year old might have been injured or shot, so she couldn't talk. And then it was another female that got shot, so she would not be a witness on the witness stand. And a 22-year-old, I'm sorry, a 22-month old. I'm talking about a child. So basically, a year, they didn't even make it to 24 months. This child was almost 2 years old, got shot in the crossfire from rat beef. So anybody on the internet that is basically feeding this narrative, condoning this behavior, and talking about, oh yeah, the Young and Ace diss track goes hard, I keep listening to it. Y'all are fueling this narrative. Y'all are fueling this behavior. You're allowing people to monetize and capitalize off of violence. It needs to stop, y'all. Y'all have been on here for approximately 24 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and sign off because I am running late now and I need to get over to the office as quickly as I can. We only have a meeting going on for about an hour, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to be late now. But anyway, I just wanted to come on and give you a backstory about the situation. My apologies for not having everything pulled up because this is just a very impromptu situation, and I will be back on later to address you all. I hope you have a very safe Monday. And yes, continue to walk in your divinity. You all stay blessed. And I want to give a special acknowledgement to all the ultimate warriors and angelic warriors that are living to fight another day, y'all. Continue to stay blessed and be thankful and grateful for your health, friends, family, colleagues, people who truly care about you. And in the words of Hassan Campbell, pay attention to your circle before they hurt you, y'all. I am signing out. Until next time, you all stay blessed. Y'all, this is also my birthday month. Okay, my birthday month. So if you want to bless me, you know, the Cash App is here. But y'all, I am going to go ahead and sign out. Have a peaceful week. Have a peaceful Monday. And y'all, sometimes you have to let things go. And it does not mean that you are weaker. It takes strength to walk away because there's demonic energy plaguing this planet. All right. All right. We're in Cancer season, y'all. So let's, let's try to lead in peace and harmony. All right. Signing out. All right. So we have Samaya.